be dancing.
Yep. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Book Club. Ian Fleming's on Her Majesty's Secret Service out of the James Bond series. It's a great day today. The sun is shining.
Yeah. Did you go outside, Tina?
Yeah.
No, it's not a great day. It's like minus 15 degrees out there.
Yes, it is. It's cold, but the rest of the week is going to be in the 40s, Tracy. Take heart. It's going to get better.
No, I'm freezing my tootsies off.
Well, I am too, but at least I'm glass half full. Optimistic. Yeah, Tina McNeil agrees. She said it's very cold. Yes, Russ?
81 degrees.
You waited till we were on stream.
You can really kick him out now.
The rest of us are all freezing. Welcome to another crazy episode of Book Club, everyone. If you're watching the replay, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, come join the fun. If you're watching right now, thank you so much. I know Myers and the Most is live, and LBV TV is live, and some others. And so if you have not checked out those channels, amazing friends of ours, go check them out as well. Or if you want to stay for some book club, get your fill of book club. Let's welcome in chat.
Welcome in chat.
Hey, chat. All right, Tracy Glenn, we'll be here shortly. Tina's making cookies for us. I wish I was making cookies. That's A for effort, Tracy. I don't know. Tina McNeil says watching, always watching. Daniel Disinfinity, hello, welcome in. Kadani Sean, Annie Coog, and that's it. That's it. And that's not it, because you guys are amazing and you are just wonderful. And thank you for being here. All right, so today we're going to discuss chapters 18, 19, and 20. I'm surprised I actually got that correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great.
I like chapter 18.
Chapter 18. Yeah, let's do Ultrameasures, probably go all the way to the beginning to chapter 18. Oops, I zoomed right by it. Forklift for Hell is the title of this chapter. These three chapters I really enjoyed because I really had so much anxiety with him on top of that mountain. I knew something was going to happen. I knew he was going to get caught. And what just happened to the sound?
No, I think somebody has a slight echo.
Yeah, I think Chris was testing.
And I think he was testing.
So, all right. Last week we left. I'm all jumbled today. It's been a day, guys. So, chapter 17 we left off. He's on the rink. He sees Tracy. Meets up with her, and she's in bad shape. He's in bad shape, I should say. And she rescues him. So now we're leading into chapter 18. Where Bond's struggling to stay upright. And when the party is over, they're at a Christmas party. So now the party's over. It's Christmas Eve. And Tracy is literally holding Bond's weight and holds him up. And they mix into the crowd. And she's literally, she is really holding his weight. I love this because it's like, I don't know why. I love the connection between the two of them. He says, "You have your car," and she says, "Yes, everything will be all right. Just hang on to me. Are there people waiting outside for you?" And I thought of this instantly before she even said it. I was like, "I bet they're outside waiting." And he was like, "Could be. Watch out for a big black Mercedes, and there may be shooting." And of course, she's probably not even fazed by this because of who her father is, but she says down to the right, and they walk towards. Oh, she gives him his parka. She gives him her parka, and puts it on, and basically kind of just to disguise him a little bit. They walk out They walk right past. He gives her a kiss to try to block. They see the guy standing outside, and they kiss so that their faces are kind of like blocked so that they can't recognize them.
Tracy has a question, and he's muted.
And I can't see. I didn't mute him.
No, he did.
Is it a Parker or a
It's
Parka?
It's actually a Parka. It's Parka. I am justified in this word at this moment. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
And Tracy, did you turn your camera towards the window? Was that
Yeah, it's cold.
It's a very nice view you have, Tracy. I'm digging it.
It's super cold up here.
Literally feels like we're on top of a snowy mountain right now. This is our dream. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Hey, Ange.
And if I missed anybody else, I don't think it is. Okay.
Ange says, I have no idea what we're talking about, but listening is working.
Yeah, it's
Okay, we don't know what we're talking about either.
Walter Graham's my favorite Dougie. Hello, good to see you. So, in case you don't know, Dougie suggested this book, and I'm so glad that he did, as I'm loving this book. So where are we? So, okay, he gives her his Parka. They leave. They see the guys, but they catch on to Bond because they see his ski pants.
Yeah.
Dead ringer. He's still wearing the get-up, sticks out like a sore thumb, and they make a mad dash for the white car, and they get to the car, and there's this huge car chase. The black Mercedes is behind them. She swerves. She does she's pulling these car moves that we come back to the first part of the book, where is what caught Bond's attention in the first place. She's working those moves again, this time to get her guy to safety. And I really like how you get that contrast with that.
But Bond's almost surprised at how good she is.
Like he hasn't seen it.
That she's able to hold on, on those icy roads and
Yeah, and I love that. And that's, I mean, hey, kudos to you. I'd be like a snail. But anyways.
Hello, Francisco. That's fun to see, Francisco. At least you don't kick me off.
Why would I kick you off? I encourage that. Okay, so we're in this huge car chase. She pulls a move. We're getting into the nitty-gritty. I'm just trying to speed things up because we always go over time, and I don't want to do that again. But basically, she pulls a move, and Bond starts to get the life back into him. He says, it was so wonderful to be in this little car with this marvelous girl, he says. And so he's also giving her, instructions, and she's like, I got this. And I think that's funny, She's not, like, angry telling him. She's just like, yep,
don't worry.
Don't worry. Yeah, you just relax. And so shots are being fired, and
Chapter 18, Dougie.
Chapter 18. That's right. Dougie, the link's in chat if you're able to pop in. So I skipped too far ahead and I lost myself. So they lose the car.
They're in the car. The one thing that I took out of this was the fact that Tracy's ecstatic at the fact that he's with her.
Right.
And
I was not there. I'm telling you guys over and over, I was never there.
Oh, stop it and eat your robin's eggs.
and she asks him they both kind of exchange their stories as to why she's there in the first place, and the fact that Draco basically told her where he was.
And what he does for a living.
Yeah.
And what he does, yes, exactly. And so then he basically drops the story. He tells her the truth, And then she's like, well, how many people did you kill?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then that's when they realize they're being gained on. So
for some reason, my book is all messed up. That's why I'm skipping pages, because I'm losing like 6 pages and I don't exactly know what. Hold on a second, I'm going to refresh the page. Russ, keep going. Tracy, you guys keep talking while I figure this out.
I mean, yeah. So I guess they're being gained on, and then she realizes that they're probably not going to have enough fuel to keep this going, right?
They're gonna have to stop for some petrol.
Yep. And so they come around an S curve, and then that's where they have to go across a bridge. And Bond notices there's a sign, because the one way is out. Like it splits. The road splits. One way's out. The other way is you go across this bridge. And so he has her stop the car. He jumps out and he goes and he switches the arrow, like classic Roadrunner type.
Wile E. Coyote, baby. He Wile E. Coyote'd him.
And then he goes back up, and he tells her to keep going, so that the car will think it needs to so that it would get out of sight. And so the Mercedes comes around the corner, and Bond's like hugging the wall, hiding, and the car goes over the cliff. And then it showed, like, he talks about how he goes over to the cliff to watch what happens and the fiery explosion and type of thing. But then he runs back to the car. They get away, and basically Tracy tells him, "All right, time to sleep."
Can we just call her Teresa?
Well, her name's Tracy, though.
No, it's not. Her real name is Teresa.
Tracy's a little uncomfortable, I think. 2014.
And that's the end of the chapter. I mean, it's a quick chapter.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of action packed into it. Like this is where I wish we had visuals, but you get that in your head anyway.
The visual of Bond though in that Christmas party, and then him getting in the car with Tracy, really kind of reinvigorated him though, because he was like even passed out at one point in the Christmas party, and then when he got in the car, it's like that whole watching her wheel the car really re-energized him, I felt.
Yeah.
Okay. So for some reason, like, I have chapter 20 and then the entire chapter except the last page is gone, and I don't know why it's doing this on my
well, you need chapter 19 next.
I know I do. So, Russ, why don't you start us off with chapter 19? And I don't know what.
Any other comments on 18 first before I go? Like I said, I like this one a lot. So,
yeah.
I almost feel like he was relieved to see someone he actually knew. And I mean, she's special anyway, but I mean, it was a really bad environment and he got away, alive. So it's like maybe some relief, even though it wasn't over.
Yeah. Well, and even at the end, when she tells him to sleep, anyone else, he probably wouldn't. He would just stay awake. But he trusts her enough that he does, and he goes right to sleep, and they come out fine. So, but yeah, we go into chapter 19, and this one's called "Love for Breakfast," which immediately threw up flags. But it's not.
Didn't throw any flags for me.
It's not that kind of love. So
I know.
I just was preparing myself for chapter 19.
Okay, so I'm going to interject real quick, because Dougie says, "I can't believe you hate the movie, Tina. Officially the best Bond movie now. You're a bad human." Okay, hold on. I have to defend myself real quick. I only saw the first like 15, 16 minutes of it, and I stopped myself because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stopped. But I didn't like the first 15, 16 minutes of it because
if you're a Sean Connery James Bond fan, this one's a tough one to love.
well, that was my first issue. Sean Connery is the only Bond for me. I'm just going to bring that out there right now.
Are you saying Daniel Craig didn't do a good job?
No, Sean Connery, first of all, he's my favorite actor out of across the board. And those
That's because you like his accent.
Well, obviously, that's not the only thing though. It's
I was police after you.
Seriously. I was a Sean Connery fan back when I first saw First Night with Richard Gere, and then I saw Untouchables before that. So back in the 80s with Untouchables, then First Night, and then a couple of other movies. I didn't even know he was a Bond guy until a couple of years ago, and then I started watching the Bond movies, and I was hooked. Love how he did Bond. But I also had not read the books. And Chris, if I may, I'll get to that afterwards actually, because that's a spoiler for the last chapter. So anyways, for chapter 20, I mean. So anyways, the movie, I felt like I was so perturbed at the beginning because the way the battle scene happened with the guns, and it just didn't happen it didn't capture me the way that the book did. It didn't set the movie up the way I felt like it could have been set up.
And it's a different opening to the movie than it is in the book.
Right. If you're gonna change the, not stick to the book. I like when things go plot by plot in movies when it comes to.
So what you're saying is you hated the Harry Potter movies.
After I did, there is a love-hate relationship. Yes.
Because no matter what you do, sometimes you can't take a direct scene from a book. It's tough to do.
Yeah, but Bond was so easy. How easy? Like we could have easily.
It's all about time constraints. I mean, you could follow the movie exactly, but you got to remember is they had to shorten stuff up so they can get the time allotted. So you can't take 100% of what goes on in the movie. As long as the basic story is there, you should be fine.
Gonzo, The Adventures of Gonzo, welcome in. It's good to see you. I should do it right back to him what he does to me. Ooh, Gonzo. Because he does that to me. Ooh, T. Marie. But anyways. Dougie says, okay, it's close enough. They just made it not a flashback. Yeah. I know. And I think I nitpicked anyway because I nitpicked completely. So sorry. All right. So go ahead. Where were we? We are, and my book is all messed 19. Up. So chapter 19. So
love for breakfast.
They're at the airport, right?
Yes.
No.
I
thought they were at a hotel.
Well, it says in the gray. In the Grey Dawn Zurich airport was the
airport? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're eating breakfast at some greasy spoon in the airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why this book is doing this to me. So okay. So
we also have background music.
I know, I'm enjoying that. So Tracy, thank Kenzie for us, please.
She's got class in an hour, so she's probably warming up.
She's practicing. All right. My screen really is all messed up, and I'm having complete dead air. And I apologize, guys.
So they're at the airport. Bond goes to make a phone call to call Station Z. And to tell them and warn them basically that their cover's blown.
I fixed it.
And the fact that the cover's blown and that their number 2 is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And probably gave up a bunch of information before he passed away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tina, where's your phone?
Now on my bed over there. We're good. We're good. Okay. So where are my highlights? All right. So he's on the phone, and he gives him? I think he gives him directions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or instructions, I should say.
He basically, because normally they would talk in code, or they would, so that they wouldn't, because he knows that Blofeld's probably listening.
Yeah.
He basically just tells them, all right, Blofeld knows, cover's blown, number 2's dead. I need a meeting with M. I'm coming home.
The basics. Yeah.
That's basically what he's saying. And to watch your back, because they're probably watching you. And sure enough, they were.
They were.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's basically what happens at the beginning.
I'll take Becky's advice.
What's nice about this chapter is you see that development of character between Teresa and James.
Yeah.
Like she's willing to stay by him. She doesn't actually want to leave him until he convinces her that he's safe enough and he's going to be fine. And wow, what a bombshell at the end of this chapter. How does he convince her to go away and be safe?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm proposing after 2 dates or 2 or 3 dates.
You're not a romantic, are you, Tracy?
Me? You should ask my wife. She. I'm super
Shall I go there?
I'm super romantic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he is romantic, see?
It's not funny. Take it down. Garrett.
The last of the true romantics. All right, so she pleads with him. She says, James, do I have to leave you now? It's been so long waiting for you, and I have done well. I have done well. I like the emphasis on the have, the italics. Haven't I? Why do you want to punish me? And then he says, tears that would never have been there in the royal days sparked in her eyes. She wiped them angrily away with the back of her hand. And so Bond suddenly thought, and I have to read this out. I apologize, but I have to read this out. He thought, hell, I'll never find another girl like this one. She's got everything I've looked for in a woman. She's beautiful, in and out. She's adventurous, brave, resourceful. She's exciting always. She seems to love me. She let me go on with my life. So he's thinking, he's like, I got the best of everything all in one person, and he's just like the whole package. So he says, I'm fed up with all these untidy casual affairs that leave me with a bad conscience. You don't get this in the movie. You don't get this kind of
read Dougie's comment.
Yeah.
He says that there's actually something they do better in the movie. Because they know each other much better by this point in the movie. Because they're introduced, they have a little bit more screen time.
Like the montage of the spending time
throughout the movie.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, see, I got as far as the love montage, and then I was done after that.
Right.
Because I didn't want to spoil for myself. Carlos, welcome in. Garrett, welcome in. Carlos says you're talking about Suzanne.
Well, the other thing you got to remember is that, she was raised by Draco, so she's basically fearless.
Yeah.
She's been around this stuff her whole life.
Yeah.
She's not afraid of what's going on, and so she wants to stay with James.
Right.
She kind of, I also think she wants to be there to almost protect him, and just to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
But he knows that it's this is the worst thing that he's, that she would ever have to face, because of it's Blofeld. So
right.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah. So, all right. So he goes on and he says, we're two of a pair, really. And it's true. I mean, he has literally met his match. He says, why not make it for always? And I'm sobbing at this point as I'm reading through this page. So Bond found his voice saying those words that he had never said in his life, never expected to say. Teresa, there you go. I did that for you, Tracy. Teresa, I love you. Will you marry me? And she turns pale. She looks at him wonderingly, and her lips are trembling. And she says, "You mean that?" And he says, "Yes, I mean it with all my heart." And then she says, she's smiling, and she says, "I'm sorry. It's so much of what I've been dreaming of. It's a shock." And she says, "Just kiss me once, and I'll be going." So she's happy. She's satisfied. She got what she wanted now. She got a proposal. She's like, "All right, now I'll go. I'll do what you tell me to do, and I'll go." And they lean forward and kiss, and she gets up, and she attempts to go. I think she takes his scarf with her, because he bit up the scarf or something like that. But minor details. Yeah, it's time you took off the red handkerchief. I suppose you realize it's bitten a ribbon. It's given to me. I'll mend it.
Yeah.
So she takes it, and without looking back, walks straight out of the restaurant and down the stairs towards the exit. He sits down, has his breakfast, and then he starts. Now it's setting in what he just did. He's like, "What did I just do? What in the HE double hockey sticks had he done?" But the only answer was the feeling of tremendous warmth and the relief and excitement. James and Teresa Bond. Tracy's complicated. Commander Bond, utterly extraordinary. So he's getting psyched back up again. He's after a brief moment of what the heck did I just do? He's becoming more acquainted with it, I think. He lights a cigarette, gives a quick glance around the trysting place to fix it's been a word I can't pronounce, and walked out the door, leaving fragments of his life torn up amidst the debris of an airport breakfast. Now we go on to chapter 20.
Well, the whole thing with him contemplating what he's done, the entire story, Teresa's basically throwing Bond off of his game because she's such a kind of a distraction, because he's always thinking about her, and which is not usually Bond. And so I think, he's really, and we get a little bit of this in the next chapter too, to where he's thinking, okay, there's changes happening, and I'm not sure if I like it or not, but he's just thrown for a loop. He's not confident like he should be. So
yeah. So Dougie says, "No, the film does win at this. The proposals are so much better." So I haven't gotten that far. So when we're done with the book, I will give the movie a chance, another chance, and we'll see. And it's rare that he gives the film points over a book, but yeah. So, and I trust Dougie's word is gospel. So I will give it a chance.
In the book, it just seems so
rushed,
out of character and rushed to me. The whole proposal, it didn't feel natural, because the last time I really remember Bond with Teresa was she was having so much mental issues and dealing and coping and everything, and now all of a sudden she's back and he's proposing to her. Just
and I'd like to see how the movie does it, because I remember watching this movie all years and years ago when my father was watching it and stuff like that. I didn't pay attention to it, So
yeah, I don't remember exactly how the movie is. It's been so long since I've watched it too, but
I thought it was unexpected, definitely. I didn't expect he was going to do that at all.
Yeah.
Especially at that moment.
Yeah, and the movies don't depict him like this. He's not, and he, even that he never thought in his life that he would be saying those words.
Well,
and so
it's almost spontaneous, because I think I wonder if he's thinking that, well, I may never see you again. And so this is a kind of a, make her happy kind of thing, but then also make himself happy kind of thing. Of course, they are talking about, that they're going to make wedding plans after the mission, and so, she has to basically trust that he's coming back, from this. So.
Yeah. All right. So any more thoughts on chapter 19 before we move on to chapter 20?
I don't think so. These chapters are short.
They really are.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how short they were.
But 20 is a little bit longer, but it's a little bit more boring.
Right. Actually, I really like chapter 20. Because
it was good, but it's
I mean, it's not. Yeah. It is what it is. All right. So the chapter of this title is M in a French word that I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
Fluffy. I don't know. I don't know. Bond slept in the plane and was visited by a terrible nightmare. So Bond, he's his brain's going away with him. He has a dream that they're at this lavish party and there's Teresa all, dazzled up and whatnot, and they say the name Commander and Mrs. James Bond, and
the dream sequence is cool.
Yeah. There was a gush of French from Teresa. She exchanged empty Mayfair kisses that end up wide of the kisser's ears with her hostess. Teresa drew Bond forward and
go ahead, Tiff. Don't worry about it. I'm only messing with you.
Well, no, because now it's kind of awkward for me. So,
because I'm here.
Yeah, well, And this is James. Doesn't he look sweet with that beautiful medal around his neck, just like the old day Reziki cigarette advertisement? And then he wakes up and he hears, "Fasten your seatbelts, please extinguish your cigarettes." He awakes, he's sweating. He's like, "Oh, what have I done?" But he's like, "No, wait a minute. It wouldn't be like that. Definitely not." He would still have his tough, exciting life, but now he would have Teresa to come back home to. And then he says, "Would there be room in his flat?" Oh, and what about May? His assistant, his Scottish treasure, he calls her. He must somehow persuade her to stay. Yeah, that's going to go over real well. And so it hits the runway. They get ready to leave the plane. So, any thoughts so far?
No, I mean, I don't know if he's fooling himself. I don't know of any spy that's going to have that life on to come home to. No matter what you do, if you're living a spy life, that's a tough thing to come home to and just assume a normal life. Especially, I mean, could you imagine if I know for sure if I was away for a couple of days, he came back and they were like, "What were you doing?" "I was on a business trip." Yeah, that's going to go over well.
Yeah.
Granted, Tracy is part of the mob's family, so she knows that this kind of lifestyle works. I don't know most of us knows what happens in this book. Even if everything did settle down, and that actually did get married and settle down and had like a couple of little bonds, I don't know if those two would be compatible in the long run because of the such differences. They're great now. It's just, hold on.
Is that you?
Yeah, just get a phone call.
I was
to me, it's like he's, because the Bond that we know, he's been the bachelor and this is a total change for his entire life. And even if he still is going on missions and things, it's still going to be different because the things that he does on missions, to get where he needs to be, he's going to be
what he has to do as James Bond to get.
He's going to be second guessing himself. He's going to be, it's just going to be different, and so it's going to change the way he is able to operate. And so he's having doubts, I guess.
Who is he like when he's not doing those things? I mean, to some degree, to go to a life that's okay, let's go get a farm and let's start another life. Like, who is he? And not, and the same thing for her, I guess,
Yeah. I mean, and he's already, he's got his off mission, persona or his, his real persona, but then he's on mission persona. And so how are those two going to now meld in his married life? And it's just, there's a lot going on.
Because it talked about a lot about that back in the first few chapters when he was at home. He liked very simple stuff, very simple this and simple foods and all that sort of stuff. And then when he was on mission, how extravagant he would be. But yeah, I think it's starting to dawn on him how much this could change, but he's still wanting to think that it's not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then too, because he's, he is in high society, and when he's back in England, I don't think he necessarily wants to be the guy walking around in the suit with medals all over the place. It's not. That's just not who he wants to be. So.
Plus, is there anybody else that, like, had a beef with him or something? And it's like, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to go off the grid to some degree, because if there are people that want to,
like Hawkeye's family on a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
If somebody knew that Hawkeye had a family and kids, they would be in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing with Spider-Man. If you watch the Spider-Man, that's the same. The same thing he does with Aunt May. The same thing he does with
MJ.
Every person that I can be around is in trouble if they. And that's why that's why most superheroes have that secret identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he gets off the plane, and he's met with Miss Mary Goodnight, sitting beside the driver in the car that pulls up for him.
On Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day. And I love this. He says, my gosh, Mary, this is a heck of a way to spend your Christmas. And that's the G-rated version. To spend your Christmas. This is far beyond the line of duty. Anyway, get in the back and tell me why you're not stirring the plum pudding or going to church or something. So she says, she says what happens. And I love this because she's razzing him because he looks like a hot mess. And she's like, don't you own a comb? And you haven't shaved. You look like a pirate. She wrinkled her nose and says, when did you last have a bath? I wonder they let you out of the airport. You ought to be in quarantine. That part got me laughing. So Bond also laughs because he must have thought it was funny as well. Winter sports are very strenuous. And then just the banter, why all the lavishness, what's going on? And she says, you're to check in with headquarters first and then go down to lunch with him at the quarterdeck. Then after lunch, he's having these men you wanted brought down for a conference. And so we're going to have a meeting with these men that Bond's calling. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty of the details of what was going on top of that mountain. And we'll get some answers. All right. So then there's some banter about plum pudding, which I think is hysterical because I could really go for some plum pudding right now. So he says, be a good girl and call the duty officer and say okay to M's orders, and then we'll be along by 10:30. He wants to get to his house, his apartment. He wants to clean up and get looking like his old self again, because I'm sure he doesn't feel like his old self. And the rendezvous back at headquarters. And so when Bond got to his desk a few minutes after 10:30, feeling back to 9/10 human, he found a folder on his desk with a red star at the top right of the corner that meant top secret. It contained his passport and a dozen of copies blown up. He's got everything in this folder that he needs, it looks like. And
they ran a urinalysis test on him, and they seen that he was drinking and gives him a warning. Come on.
Yeah.
The man's undercover. He's going to drink.
Yeah, exactly. Bond crumbles the paper and then, thinking of Mary Goodnight's susceptibility, is more prudently burned it with his lighter. She came in, sat down with her shorthand book. Bond said, no, this is only a first draft. Gives her the report. She writes everything down. Turns sideways to her secretary. He would ring Tracy up. So now he's thinking, after she leaves, nope. Then the report was finished. The muted clack of Mary's typewriter came from behind closed door. He would ring Tracy up that night when he got back to his flat. He could already hear her laughing voice at the other end of the wire. So now he's back thinking about Tracy again, or Teresa.
And thinking of how the wedding is going to work.
Right. So he loses himself thinking of all these plans, getting days off, necessary papers, where to have the service. And then he pulls himself together, picks up the photo stack containing the girls' names, and went up to the communication center to get the telephone, the teleprinter station Z or Z.
Of course, the other thing too is how he's going to break it to M
That he's
getting
leaving.
married.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, boss, I'm going to get hitched. Don't worry, it's not gonna involve me. It's not gonna stop me sleeping with the women while I'm on the mission. I got that down.
Wait, whoa! He wouldn't do that.
He's a secret agent, man.
So
he's got to do what he's got to do to make the job, to get the case done.
You're not killing my perception of Bond in this moment. No, we're not having it.
That's what I was saying. That he might still try and do it, but
he wouldn't be good at it.
He would.
It would be conflicting. So
yeah, and I mean, I wonder if these thoughts are going through her head too. You know, can I trust him? Would he be faithful? Because you don't know what he's doing out there because he's a spy.
Of course, again, remember she's been in the same boat. You know, she's with her father, so she understands the way it works. But yeah.
All right, so then he starts thinking a little bit about Bond. You know, not Bond, M. M would have preferred to live by the sea, near Plymouth, perhaps, or Bristol, anywhere he could see the stuff whenever he wanted to and could listen at night. Goes into a little bit, yada yada. I'm gonna do speed up a little bit. So
they describe M's house a lot.
Yeah.
With a lot of description.
Because he's a retired admiral and lots of Navy stuff and that kind of stuff.
So Bond comes in, closes the door, says Happy Christmas and all that, tells Bond to take a chair, begins to fill his pipe, and says the name of that. Oh, I'm not going to say this word. He's talking about American detectives. He's always fiddling about with orchids and blah, blah, blah. And Nero Wolf is his name. And so I start talking, whatever. And so.
They're basically just making chit chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And it's awkward chit chat because M and Bond have never really gotten along.
Yeah.
And so it's okay. Well, when you get the both of them in the same room together, and they do the same in the movies, to where like they can't stand each other.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So he says to Bond, "Looks like you haven't been getting much sleep. The winter sports places, they tell me. Oh, pretty happy these winter sports places, they tell me." Bond smiles, reaches into his inside pocket and took out a pinned sheets of paper. I think he's giving, it's only a draft, so he gives him the draft and reads it.
Well, M sits there and reads it in silence while Bond is basically having to sit there twiddling his thumbs.
Yeah. So let's see. So M is, I think, everywhere there are mountain seas, crashing canyon, bellying sails, tattered battle pennants, the fury of ancient engagers, the memories of ancient enemies, the French, the Dutch, the Spaniards, even the Americans, all gone, all now friends with one another. So he's looking around the room at these naval prints and he's thinking about the stories behind them. He says, who was backing Blofeld? So he's thinking to himself. He's trying to figure things out. Who was backing Blofeld, for instance, in the inscrutable conspiracy in which he was now certainly engaged? The Russians, the Chinese, who's doing it? You know, so he's thinking all these thoughts while M is reading the rough draft. M threw the papers down his desk. His pipe had gone out, and he now slowly lit it again. He says, "Well, you were pretty lucky to get out of that with James. Didn't you know you could ski?" And James says, "Just managed to stay upright, sir. Wouldn't like to try it again." And let's see. So he says, "Oh, no, I see you say you can't come to any conclusions about what Blofeld was up to." He says, "That's right. I haven't got a clue." Nor, and Em says, nor have I just don't understand any part of it. Perhaps the professors will help us out. So now they're waiting for these guys to come in that might have more answers.
And these are guys that are like agricultural type scientists and people that, in the fields that the allergies from the girls were. So,
yeah.
So let's see. Then he turned, talking about who's he talking about now? I don't know. Perhaps the professors help us. Would you obviously write the Spectre all over again? By the way, your tip about Pontresina was a good one. He was a Bulgar, I can't remember his name, but Interpol turned him up for us. Plastic explosive expert, worked for KGB in Turkey. So the other to get into all spy talk. And all right, any more thoughts before I continue the rest of the chapter?
Well, and I don't know if you're even ready to talk about this in a second, but he asked about Tracy at the end of the report, and who's this girl who helped you, and kind of but Bond kind of deflects it.
Yeah. Oh, her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in walked the men. They sat down and said with mock ferocity to Hammond, all right, Chief Petty Officer Hammond, do your worst. And then with real vehemence, I don't know what that word is.
Vehemence?
Yeah, that's the one. What in the AT double hockey sticks are those things doing here? He pointed at the center of the table. Crackers, sir. Oh my gosh. This did crack me up. Mrs. Hammond thought that seeing as you have company, throw them out. Give them to the school children. I'll go so far with Mrs. Hammond. But I'm damned if I'm going to have my dining room turned into a nursery. Okay, all I could think about was the charcuterie platters and how I would love to have one.
Well, the crackers, you know what crackers are.
Crackers. Biscuits?
No, not eating crackers.
No, they're Christmas crackers.
They're Christmas crackers.
The
They're
present type things.
If you've read Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
It's a British tradition.
The British tradition. You know how they pulled apart the crackers on Christmas Day and like a chessboard showed up, and that's what it is. They would have it's a tube wrapped up and roll, and there's a small present in there. You pop it open, and it's a small present inside. That's a cracker.
It still is because we did it in New Zealand. You have it's like a little present, and some of them, if you pull them and they actually pop open and there's like confetti inside and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, it's just like a small.
We're totally ruining it because you were thinking like
crackers. So I used to work in the church nursery, and we would have crackers.
Yeah, the crackers.
So we would give the kids crackers for snacks. So that's totally what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, but like they're there to have a business meeting, and they're to discuss some serious things, and his wife's trying to entertain.
Yeah.
And that's and of course it is Christmas, but I mean that's the thing. It's
right.
M is there to discuss business, not to have Christmas dinner. So
and I think that's hysterical because that's so me. It's like a company over, and you could be the most serious meeting in the world, and I'd be breaking out all the festivities. So I think that's really funny.
But
go ahead.
Well, are you going to continue to describe the festivities?
No, I was going to move on because we're 3 minutes on 4.
Okay.
But yeah, lots of festive things.
Well, they had terrible wine.
Yeah.
They had
Bond's
pudding.
aching for a drink, and then plum pudding again.
Yeah. And he would rather be with Tracy, basically.
Yeah, that's where his brain.
I'd rather be with Tracy.
Yeah.
you are crazy.
Just look in the mirror.
So yeah, that's how it ends. He thought of Tracy.
One handsome devil right there.
Oh my gosh. It should have been there. So all right, so that's where we end this chapter, and we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of things in chapter 21 for next week. So chapter Next week we'll do chapter 21, 22, and 23. And so I have some catching up to do because I've only read.
Oh, wait a minute. You haven't read these yet?
I read up to
Didn't you read
chapter
ahead on us?
22.
She stopped.
22. I stopped.
I was actually, this is the first book that I've actually paid attention to the rules and haven't read ahead.
Yeah, I know. But no, I stopped so I could just be caught up with you guys and on the same page. So I was a good doobie. Sherry, awesome sunsets. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's go around and we'll talk about if you got a channel or promote whatever you want. Gina, is there anything that you want to promote?
Not so much. Just I was thinking about doing some stuff on my Instagram page. Maybe photography and just I don't know, getting maybe into a little bit of more hobbies and stuff. But I'm
You're catching the bug, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
she's gonna be streaming soon. She'll be doing like Saturday mornings at 8:00. Coffee with Gina.
Yeah, right. I mean, my husband was like, "You should do this and you should do that," and I'm like, "I don't know." Well, I don't know.
It's tough to find a time spot. That's the problem.
Yeah, and something interesting, like people that actually want to take, hear. So, but
just
I'm not interesting at all. I just show up to make Tina laugh.
Yeah, that's all he's here for. He's the court jester. Yeah, I was debating before I started my channel, what would I do? What would I name it? And I was already Team Marie Photography, and so I figured, well, I can't really change it because people know me as Team Marie Photography, so I kept it. And I just remember Steve from Steve's World saying, "You want to start a channel? Think about a channel? Just do it."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Okay." I took that advice.
And if you need any help, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
thank you. That's nice.
Take it and run. Take it and run with it.
Thank you.
So, yeah. All right, Tracy, how about you?
On Thursday, 4:00 on my channel, we are doing a 19-year retrospective of Kenzie Days. On Friday is her 19th birthday. I am going to show all kinds of embarrassing pictures and probably embarrass her as much as possible because that is my job as a father, is to embarrass your kids.
Hide the broom. Hide the broom.
And on top of that, she's got class at 4:30, so all the good pictures are coming out after 4:30. So that's this Thursday at 4:00. And no pizza stream this week, and we haven't figured out how we're going to settle down with pizza stream. So,
yeah.
And then Nerd Talk on Sunday.
Sounds good. All right, Chris, how about you?
I don't know.
Dude.
I think I may go live Friday night with a Friday night live stream and call it Not at Resort TV 2.
Not at Resort TV 2.
Focus on me sitting in different chairs in my house.
Well, I'm going to get up and walk from this chair to this chair. And I'm going to sit down.
There's a
I'm going to eat.
low wait for the sofa, so maybe I'll go sit on the sofa for a few minutes.
Not
There's not a long line for the basement stairs, so we can do that.
Oh, I'll be around.
Oh, what's the line for the bathroom drone?
Well, the line for the bathroom just increased because my wife and daughter's in there, so now I got at least a half hour before I can get in there.
And we all know the Rapunzel one's the best one, so that's
I have photos of the Rapunzel area. I didn't even know that was a bathroom. All right. Ross, how about you?
So Saturday, I'm going to be live from the Polynesian. But then also, I think on Thursday, earlier in the day, I might go back over to Universal Studios so I can use some more of my tasting land. So keep an eye out just for a pop-up stream from there on Thursday. But yeah, definitely on Saturday we'll be at the Polynesian. So, and then yeah, Sunday is Nerd Talk on my channel. So for the final episode of WandaVision.
So excited. All right, guys.
What do you got coming up, Tina?
I got some stuff. Tuesday has become a busy day. I'm on with Carlos, Disney
Every
World
day's a
Freak.
busy day.
Who's on right now? I know. I don't know what's going on, but I love her every minute of it. Right now, Carlos, Disney World Freak, is on. I'm going to go and hop on with him. It's his 50th Shooting the Breeze episode, and we're so excited. Then tonight at 9 o'clock, I will be on with Gonzo on his channel. It's a new thing that him and Chris from the Addy Family Adventures and I are doing with the Three Musketeers. And so that's tonight at 9. And then tomorrow, 5 o'clock, Wednesday, whateverness, we're just going to be doing chill and chat choice. You guys come with your questions. We'll have a couple of us in there. You can ask us any kind of question, and we'll all have to answer. What?
Can I bring my design plans for my Mount Vesuvius or my ride?
Sure, why not? Wait, are those Pompeii?
Yeah, it's Pompeii.
Whatever. I don't care. I want some kind of destruction mountain.
Pompeii was the village. Vesuvius.
Yeah, I know. Mount
Well,
Vesuvius
true,
is
That's what Mount Vesuvius is?
yes.
Okay. Learn something new every day. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in all the streams. Please know that you are loved and appreciated and that you are a blessing. And I'm thankful for you. Think of a wonderful thought. Any merry little thought. Bye, guys.
I also have to